paid for, but you can always check, and I will come back to it. But it perhaps would be foolhardy. Okay. All right. Thank you.
You want to go first today?
Sorry?
Chairman,
Member Robinson.
I'm referencing the annual report of 23-24 and the chairman's opening remarks, the second page, paragraph 8, and I would like clarity on this particular matter.
This is the 23 report?
23-24 report, the chairman's...
What page?
Page 2 of the chairman's opening remarks, the end of page 2. If for the 272 is page 8 of the 272 pages, and it's at the bottom. And I'm going to quote the last sentence written by the chairman, and from my interpretation, there appears to be a bit of a contradiction. And I quote, "Of course, there is nothing to prevent declarants or persons under investigation from speaking on the situation as it relates to them." So I am seeking clarity. If a declarant is under investigation before the report has been tabled in the Parliament, is it against the law for the declarant to acknowledge that he or she is the subject of an investigation?
In my opinion, a declarant can always speak about his or her situation at any time. That is my view of the law.
But it sounds inconsistent with
Well,
what Mr. Christian said.
the section says nobody is to speak about the thing. But I can't see why I am involved in a situation and I cannot speak about it. That is my interpretation of the law. It doesn't follow. Although I think I'm right, it doesn't follow that I'm right.
I'm going to ask the chairman, is your interpretation of the law consistent with the Integrity Commission's interpretation of the law on this particular matter?
What's the question?
If the chairman's interpretation of the law, as written here on page 2 of his opening remarks, if it is consistent with the Integrity Commission's interpretation of the law on this particular matter. It's a very important matter because there have been public comments made that no individual can speak on a matter until it's tabled, even if you are the subject of an investigation. But the chairman...
No, I don't share that view.
Right, but is that the view of
I share the view that the commission and other people should not be speaking about matters as forbidden by the legislation. However, in my view, and as I say, it's my view, that a declarant can speak about himself. I don't see anything to prevent that.
All right.
That is my view.
All right. Thank you, Chairman.
It's following this question, not a separate question. So
do you mind?
It would
Go
be
ahead, Member Chant.
Just, since I am the one who had raised it earlier, it is perhaps important for me to gain clarity because I am now not clear. Section 53(3), and let me read it. Until the tabling in Parliament of a report under Section 36, all matters under investigation by the Director of Investigation or any other person involved in such investigation shall be kept confidential. And no report or public statement shall be made by the Commission or any other person in relation to the conduct of this investigation. Now, I read the chairman's remarks, and I too noted the sentence that said, of course, there's nothing to prevent declarants or persons under investigation from speaking on the situation as it relates to them. You can't tie somebody out. They can say what they want to say. But the real question is not whether they can say it. You can't stop me from saying what I'm saying right now. But if I say it, am I in breach of the confidentiality and the constraint that is affected by this section? That is what Jamaica needs to understand. Not whether somebody can talk, mouth make for talk. But if you talk, are you contravening this section? That is what the country needs to understand from the Integrity Commission.
Chairman, I'd just like to just respond to what was just said. This law was not written by the Integrity Commission. It was written by the Parliament of Jamaica. And if there are flaws in the law which are creating different interpretations, I think that's a matter for the Parliament. It cannot, that hat can't be placed on the Integrity Commission's head. It can't. We've already addressed the issue of conflicting interpretations. It is the responsibility of the country's lawmakers to make clear laws. And if we get into a situation, a pit, where we're, jumping over ourselves as to what this means and what that means, that's a matter for the Parliament to deal with. It can't be our responsibility.
No, one second.
It is a conversation that,
No, one
Chairman, hold on. No, it cannot be that I ask a question, there's a response, and then we're going to move on. I would like an opportunity for the flow for me to respond. Now, Mr. Chairman, this is the second time that the Executive Director has responded to my question or comment in that way. He has made it clear now that the hat shouldn't be on his head in interpreting the law. Now, if the Executive Director of the Integrity Commission ought not to be called upon to interpret the law which is going to direct his function, who should? It is not only inappropriate, but I believe that response speaks to the stance of the Executive Director. And if I ask a question, you can respond properly in giving me your opinion. You see how the chairman responded? That's what I'm talking about. The chairman gave us his opinion and said, I may not be right. The chairman wouldn't look on me and tell us that is for you to deal with. I think that response, the Executive Director, is not in keeping with the tenor of this Oversight Committee and the conversation we're having now. I'm asking again, and hopefully you will be minded to actually give me some insight into how you think, because how you think and what operates in your mind as the Executive Director is critical to my understanding of the operation of the Integrity Commission and the confidence I repose in it. So if you're unable to answer the question, then you tell me you're unable to answer it because you don't know what it means. But I don't think so. You are someone who has taught law. You are a respected attorney at law. You have served more than once in this position. Your opinion is critical. It is significant. So let me ask again.
Member just before, there's a member who seeks an intervention for a point of information. And
To seek intervention in my questioning?
Yes, that's what he says.
Chairman, I just want to note that I was a member of this parliament when this law was passed. And I clearly recall what the intention was. It is to guard against people who are being investigated, being prejudiced. That person can waive whatever protection that he or she might have under the law. It is to ensure that investigations are done in secret, so that the person who is being